Yeah, and I think that's one of the greatest things, about the kind of the cohesive team where
Mhm.
there's that communication among professionals where I know for my clinic and so many others out there, like we have more time than anyone. We typically therapists, not just me, but physical therapists in general are getting 30, 45, 60 minutes to sit down and really investigate. And you went through it. It's like, okay, if the hardware is intact, if the imaging shows good, well, what about all these other things? If I had a medial collateral ligament sprain, it's going to take weeks and months to recover just from that, not counting all the other stuff. So, your therapist, for those of you watching, should be that person that goes through and kind of talks about each of the structures and with you assesses each of the structures and looks for any signs or information and say, hey, maybe something else is going on. And the reality is, if you have arthritis in the knee and it's a persistent long-term problem, you probably have some arthritic changes in the hip, in the lumbar spine. I talk about spinal stenosis a lot for patients who have had a total knee replacement. And so maybe the issues of the knee are resolved, but the spine issues are still there. The referred pain is still there. The altered mechanics are still there. And so why we changed one pain for another is because now you're more active, now you're doing more stuff, but we still have to address the rest of the body,
Yeah.
and there's still so many other factors going on. Now, the last topic that I wanted to touch on was infection. And I know specifically one of the questions that's been coming up a couple of times is you mentioned dentist, dental, but then also we had a patient in the clinic recently who got scratched by a cat. She was a little concerned. She had a recent knee replacement. She's 6 weeks post-op. That is this something she has to pay attention to? And people have asked about infections in one part of the body and how that may or may not affect what's going on in the knee. Could you talk a little bit about that for us?
Sure. Yeah. So again, in my own instructions with my own patients, I like to wait about 3 months before any elective procedures in general. So not just so much teeth cleaning, but if they need either like labs drawn or they go to their yearly physical or sometimes colonoscopies because they do biopsies. Sort of talk about all that and say 3 months if you can would be great. And then if you do,
Or is that something that they could do prior to surgery
correct.
so that get all that stuff done and then
Get all that stuff done correct. So either you can time it before, or most of these things are elective and they can be pushed back. And so I tell them like I'm talking about elective procedures. I'm not talking about you should not get your colonoscopy and God forbid something happens. This is not by any way that. And believe it or not, most GI doctors or anesthesiologists will give preoperative antibiotics, especially when they do biopsies. So that's still okay to do. And as you know, we're probably going away from this. As you know, more and more data is coming out and saying that you don't need prophylaxis at all.
right.
And so it's one of those. The chance is so low. You're breeding resistance to all these bacteria by giving all these antibiotics unnecessary. I totally get it. I'm all for it. It's just that if it is 0.01%, it's 100% for that patient, and it's a huge deal. And so I am still of the opinion of at least 3 months if you can. Anything urgent or emergent, and everything is okay to do as long as they're treating you with antibiotics. I also do, just on a topic of this, I am of the favor, because there were some studies that came out that higher risk patients should probably be treated with oral antibiotics for 2 weeks. So I am that kind of surgeon for high risk folks, such as prior scopes, prior ACLs, trauma patients, prior hardware in the knee, recent steroid injections, even though I still wait 3 months before you can have surgery if you had a recent steroid injection. I do give oral antibiotics afterwards. The cat lady that you mentioned that had a scratch and now they're concerned about it. No one can predict. No one can say, well, no, you're fine. And then she comes back, right? I mean, we ask every single question when they come back to you with an infection. Say, well, something happened to you in the last, month or 2 or 3 months? And they'll mention everything. Oh, I got my labs drawn, or a cat scratched me, or I brushed my teeth too hard and I was bleeding, or I had gum disease, all that. So it's easy to sort of hindsight 2020 say, well, probably you seeded your knee. But there's really no research that shows this or that, right? I mean, we're sort of anecdotally kind of going about this with not great research. And so it's hard to, like I said, I mentioned, I'm all about evidence-based. I'm all about show me the evidence. And now more and more evidence is showing that you don't really need to treat people with oral antibiotics for routine cleaning, teeth cleaning. Some surgeons do it for the first year or 2 years, and some surgeons do it lifelong, and some dentists use to do it lifelong. They say they won't take the liability. You have to either sign some paperwork, or I won't do it unless you get it, so in case you ever come back and say something. So multiple things are driving this: patients, providers, some research, but we really haven't come up with a consensus for this. I mean, it's a benign medication, amoxicillin 2 grams, 30 minutes before your teeth cleaning, once or twice a year, depending how often your teeth are being cleaned. It's not the end of the world, especially for folks that have gum disease. I mean, I'll probably recommend that, something that they're not just doing simple cleaning, right? They're going to do some actually work, or some root canal, or an actual infection. I know a lot of those folks get antibiotics anyhow, but folks that are a higher risk with frequent cavities or bad gum disease, I think it's worthwhile. I think this needs pretty high risk in those folks.
All right. Wow. Well, I want to be mindful of your time. We touched on some really great topics that I know we didn't have time to get into today, but the next time you're available, I do want to discuss some of those, and I'm sure we'll have some questions posted in the YouTube comments below. So for anybody watching this who wants to get in touch with Dr. Dieber, I'll put his contact information in the video description down below. And once again, doctor, stay on the line, but thank you so much for spending this time. I mean, it's an unreasonable amount of time you're giving, and the information you're sharing is really helping so many people. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. This is great. I love doing this. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Stay right where you are.